Question number 1. What motivated you to choose this career?
I think that I'm part of a small percentage of people where I knew when I was a child exactly what I wanted to do. At age 12, I went to a local skate shop where they had graphic tees everywhere. And I still remember exactly what the graphic was. It was like this American flag with an upside down elephant where the stars were supposed to be. And it was by a company called Black Label. And right then and there is when I decided, like, I want to make t-shirts for a living.
What new skills have you learned on the job?
I would say the most valuable skills that I've learned on the job is how to speak with people and how to sell at events. I've found that having interesting interactions with people is far more effective at selling things than having a sales pitch or doing anything. Other skills that I picked up: video editing, managing and creating an online website, shout out Big Cartel, photographing things, merchandising, figuring out taxes, everything. I mean, marketing. When you start your own business, you have to wear a lot of hats, and it takes many, many years to get good or even get okay at doing some of these things. It took me 10 years to figure out how to actually write stuff off properly, and
We're still learning.
yeah, I'm still learning how to do my taxes, but I pay my taxes. I definitely pay my taxes.
How flexible is the scheduling?
When an opportunity presents itself, I generally have to put everything behind it and sometimes work insane hours. Other times my schedule is a little bit more relaxed, but it's mostly opportunity based.
What are things that you do or don't like about your job?
I do like that I make my own schedule. Sometimes I don't like having to be the person to create those deadlines. I kind of wish that sometimes someone was telling me when I had to get stuff done, because I can procrastinate sometimes.
What does your education look like?
Education, I finished high school. I took one community college class about figure drawing, which I got a lot out of. After that, I started renting art studios in different buildings and kind of just learning from my community. You meet a lot of people that have so much experience and can really guide you. It's an unconventional way of educating yourself, but I wouldn't change my education for the world. I think the primary reason to go to school right now is to socialize. I think it's way more important that you get along with your classmates and collaborate with people and make friends rather than your test scores.
What are things that you do or don't like about your job?
I like being self-guided in what I'm designing. If you're designing for a company, they're gonna have tons of input about every little thing that you design and what you make. That can be fun if you like to collaborate, but for what I'm creating, I like to make my specific vision. There's such a thing as too many cooks in the kitchen.
What kind of background is required for this position?
You just have to be passionate about it. If you are dedicated to creating something cool, it's sort of like the Field of Dreams movie. If you build it, they will come. There's no background that you need, you just have to want it.
Is that a Kevin Costner movie?
It is.
What does a typical day look like on the job?
I don't think I have a typical day. I have big time ADHD brain, but every day the goal is to find my focus and kind of hit that flow state. So if it's a day where I need to print things, then I spend all day focusing on mixing colors, printing well. And if it's a day that I need to work on scheduling things, I'll try and schedule as many events as I can in that one day. And if it's a drawing day, I get to just lay in bed and draw all day.
Is the work environment often stressful? How so?
I would say it's regularly very stressful. Something that a lot of festival people understand is when you're investing money into your art, you're very uncertain about it. So oftentimes you'll make a big bet buying a lot of merchandise or producing a large run of prints, and sometimes you're on a wait list and that show, you don't even know if you're gonna get into the show, but you still have to invest and cross your fingers and hope things work out. Oftentimes they do, but sometimes you're sitting there with 24 hours notice on if you're gonna be able to do a festival or not. So that can be very stressful. I actually developed a little tick under my eye. Thankfully it went away, but that was a biological marker of how stressful this job can be.
So How many hours do you typically work?
I would say infinite hours, but that's not a bad thing when you're doing something that you love. I'll regularly draw for 15 hours straight if I'm in that flow state, and sometimes I'll print for 12 hours straight. I enjoy what I do, so I don't always view it as work, but I'm always a busy bee.
Where do you see your career heading in the future?
The future is an uncertain thing for anybody, especially artists. One of my big concerns about the future is what artificial intelligence is going to do to the creative industry. I'm remaining hopeful that creativity will still be as valued as it once was. This is too real. I'm gonna do my best to stay flexible and hope that I can continue working on this company. But the future is notoriously hard to predict. Notoriously?
Mm-hmm.
Notoriously?
Notoriously. We're at 3% battery.
Okay. Sheesh. Kind of a grim ending, don't you think? In all honesty, no one knows the future. You can either be afraid of it or be afraid and try and adapt. I'm gonna do this one. But in my opinion, the best way to adapt is to get very good at selling your artwork in person at events. That's why I'm making these videos, and I hope that they're helpful. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys.